Welcome to this video on the Zenwar channel. My name is Sri Satguru Buddha Rawa Bhagwan. Today's video we're going to talk about Sarbloh and the power of Sarbloh on the spiritual battlefield. So Sarbloh is a name that is used for a particular iteration of iron. So it is pure iron, essentially. Okay, it is a material that is made, a process that is made. Okay, and that is then transformed using different technologies into different forms, right? So it is made into form, right? So you have the technological aspect of Sarbloh, but you also have the base material aspect of Sarbloh. Okay, so Sarbloh is traditionally what the Kara of the Sikh warrior would typically be made out of. And in the modern age now, stainless steel is used as well, and there are reasons for that as well. Okay, so Sarbloh is still used by many today. So Sarbloh is a material that was developed and discovered in history, in the story. And prior to that, magic was an extreme problem for everyone, for all the forces of good, because the forces of good obviously don't want to use magic for bad, and the forces of evil would use magic for bad, right? So the forces of good would have to use magic as well, right? And unfortunately, it's one of those things in life that many magic practitioners except if they're well brought up in lineage, can turn to the dark path. As can anyone who doesn't do magic as well. But there is a certain penchant for magic practitioners to try to find power and to go towards those darker paths. So there exist spiritual battlefields upon which the Sikh armies fight spiritual battles, and this happens at the levels of different spiritual lokas, which are interconnecting and interpenetrating with these ones, right? And different stories are interconnecting and interpenetrating. So there are stories and lokas and vidyas and views of these Sikh armies and waging war on the spiritual battlefield. And sometimes the Sikh army are also supported by magic practitioners as well. And the Sikh armies have the fighters with the swords and all these things, and the physical weapons as well, and specialize in those things as well. So historically, magic has changed battles, and spiritually, at the levels of spiritual lokas, magic practitioners are a force to be reckoned with, right? Because they can be more or less powerful, but even a basic magic practitioner is very powerful, right? Compared to someone who doesn't practice magic. So there was a certain disadvantage on the battlefield for the forces of good because the magic practitioners would use evil magic, right? And when Sarbloh came into the story and was discovered, it was found out that Sarbloh stops magic, right? So it protects the one that it touches, right? That it touches, it protects from magic, right? So Sarbloh is very, very, very important in the story because it changed the spiritual battlefields, right? For a period of time. Where someone could wear Sarbloh and be protected from magic, right? Now, there's some things to know about Sarbloh is that there's having a piece of iron, but there's also forging it into technologies, right? So the circle is a technology, right? The perfect circle is a technology, right? So the Kara is a technology, and it is made traditionally out of Sarbloh. So it has that base material that stops magic, and that also technology which creates the circle around the wrist, the circle around the body, the circle that stays on the body, right? Which circles the body with the spiritual protection. So it uses technology, right? It's like, you have base materials which can make something, but if you construct something out of it, you can get a better result. So the base materials are very important, right, to get your result. But the technology that you employ is just as important as the base material that you use. So Sarbloh was discovered to stop magic, to protect against spirits, to protect against evil forces, all types of magic. It was also found to stop the one who wears it from using magic. Okay, so remember that magic practitioners are less frequent than non-magic practitioners normally. But now with the change of things, more and more people see that they have a little bit of ability, so they can use a bit of ability. So Sarbloh stops the practitioner from using magic. And that's one of the reasons now in the modern age, Sikh warriors wear stainless steel, because it's only partly made of iron, right? So it allows the practitioner to use magic, right? But at the same time, it doesn't protect in the same way as the Sarbloh protects for deadening magic. So the one who wears it in stainless steel now has to use his technology to make the difference, to cover the difference in protection, which is what needs to be done anyways, okay? Because Sarbloh is only good for lower types of magic. It does not stop higher magic of the really powerful beings, okay? It only stops regular type of magic of your base level practitioners, okay? But one of the things which is interesting is in today's age, most of the people are base level practitioners, okay? So it stops a lot of the noise for someone who wants to wear it, a Sarbloh Kara. It stops a lot of the noise of the magic and everybody trying to do spells and all these things to influence things from touching you, okay? So that can be very, very enjoyable as well. It kind of deadens the noise, you know? It's like, to protect your ears, it's like muffs when it's very noisy outside that protect your ears, right? So it deadens the noise and doesn't allow the sound to get to you, right? Of all of that stuff. So it's very, 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 very interesting as a material in that way. And when it's used in the technology of the Kara, it reminds you in different ways to also develop your personal technologies of defense, which are even stronger for some people who develop them well than a base material like Sarbloh. Okay, so a Kara is usually made with a slight flaw, okay, and that represents that it is not a perfect defense, and that you should remember that. It's also very cumbersome in a way, so it reminds you when you move your action with your arm and all that stuff, right? Different things, and you want to give that meaning that it reminds you to be a good person, right? And to be a warrior of light, right? And that you know how to defend yourself, right? In the light. So the Kara is very interesting. And the Sarbloh changed the battlefield. Okay, things were different for a long time because all of a sudden you had everybody protected from magic. But it doesn't take long for you to realize that some people are stronger than that kind of magic. And they can still use their magic. So those are what you call the high-powered practitioners that participate in spiritual encounters and battles as well, right? So they are more powerful than the protection ability of the Sarbloh in some cases. So what happened is the ideal specialization for a warrior became a warrior who could develop their own spiritual defenses, right? And not depend on the Sarbloh. Some warriors were really, really talented with swords and weapons and physical weapons, and it was for them the best to keep wearing the Sarbloh, right? Because in that way they were the maximum amount of protected from magic and noise as well in their spiritual practice, right? It's also for spiritual practice. So in that way, affected by many less forces coming to challenge the practitioner. And the odds that you're going to meet a really, really, really powerful magic practitioner who can get through your Sarbloh in your lifetime in this day and age is pretty slim, right? Although there are some out there. So the Sarbloh is worn by some, but the stainless steel is worn by many as well, because the stainless steel gives you the protection of the circle and the technology, right? And it's a manifestation of that technology and understanding that which circles you, that technology, that circle that circles you and protects you, right? And it's made of iron as well, so it protects against magic as well, right? But not as effectively as the Sarbloh. So this is basically like the Sarbloh is a full shield, and this here is a space for something to come through. But your technology fills that gap, and also your technology that you develop spiritually, if you wear not Sarbloh, but this allows you to use magic yourself. So now you can become a magic practitioner on the battlefield, right? On the spiritual battlefield. And magic technologies are very, very effective. Okay? Very, very powerful tools. And some people develop them and become quite proficient with it, as some people develop martial combat with swords and other types of weapons like that as well. So the ones who are traditionally very good with the swords and all that, often it's very coincidentally the ones who are going to be able with the Sarbloh and all these things, because they are the ones who traditionally are better at those things, like up close physical combat. And then you have those who are the magic practitioners, who most likely will be trying to use magic, so they won't wear the Sarbloh. Because once again, like there are only the most highest powerful practitioners of magic who can pass the protections of the Sarbloh, only the most high practitioners of magic usually can wear the Sarbloh and also cast magic. Okay, but that's possible as well for the higher practitioners. So you often see the Sarbloh worn by the ones who have no magic, basically. Okay, and then you have usually the stainless steel worn by everyone else, and then you have the Sarbloh worn by everyone else if they just feel like retiring and having as little noise as possible, and they don't plan on casting any magic, right? And then you have the stainless steel for everyone who's planning potentially on casting magic and developing spiritual weapons, right? So the Sarbloh changed the battlefield because it changed everything, because it's a way to retire spiritually, magically as well from the battlefield, right? You wear it and all of a sudden you're protected from magic. It deadens all the magic that comes around you. It surrounds you with an armor, the Kara of Sarbloh, that protects you, like the steel one does as well, right? But the Sarbloh really deadens the magic. It also serves as a basic protection against all forms of magic, really. All forms of magic, and most practitioners' levels of magic as well is defended by the Sarbloh. The only thing is the more powerful practitioners, they can get through the Sarbloh. And also, one thing to remember with the Sarbloh is that it gives you immunity protection from magic that would come and hit you directly, but it doesn't give magic that would hit someone in your surroundings, which would then by consequent affect you, or also protection for area effect spells, right? So the Sarbloh doesn't protect you necessarily from those. So that's one thing to remember as well. So it's like a flawed defense, but it's a very, very important and useful material, right? Because it is a defense, and all defenses are flawed if they are not properly established with proper offense and all these different things. Right? So the Sarbloh is a very, very important tool, and the Kara is a very important tool, and it's for everyone, basically. A very important thing to use, especially if you're working spiritually, right? You're going to probably encounter many spiritual challenges and beings attracted to you spiritually if you're developing that want to challenge you and maybe take what you have, right? So wearing the Kara, the bracelet here, either in Sarbloh or steel, is a very good idea. And if you're not planning on doing any types of magic, you can wear the Sarbloh. And if you're planning on developing as a magic practitioner, you can wear the steel, right? And these are very important tools, and they are part of the Kakar, right? The 5Ks of the Sikh, right? So this is one of the reasons that the Sarbloh changed the battlefield spiritually, because it allowed the Sikh warriors to be protected from magic, and the Sikh practitioners spiritually to be protected from magic as well, right? So that it really allowed them in that way to develop unimpeded by all the magical noise that's taking place all over the place, right? And also, it's a protection for the wrist. So for a wrist blow, that's pretty great too, right? The Kara protects the wrist, and the wrist is a very vulnerable energy center as well. So that's why you protect it as well. So Sarbloh changed the battlefield, and you have Sarbloh Kirpan as well, right? Sarbloh blades, right? And Sarbloh blades are very interesting as well because they can cut through magic as well, right? And practitioners can use it in different ways as well, right? Because what happens is the blade can be used in different methods of the mind as well. So Sarbloh. So Sarbloh changed the battlefield. It is a tool used by the Sikh armies, right? And it protects the practitioner, and it can be used by everyone, right? Everyone is in a way on the Sikh channel, right? And the Sikh channel is an experience, a video of you that you can have, where you are sitting in a chair in a box, basically a cube, a room area, watching a screen, and there are different channels moving on the screen, and all the entertainment channels waste your time. And when you make it to the Guru channel or to the Satguru channel, you subscribe and you hope the channel never changes its name, because you never want to lose it, and if you lose it, you want to find it again. And that is the Satguru channel, or the Guru channel, as it's called. And this is the experience known as the Sikh channel, where the practitioner seeks the channels and to find the channel of the Satguru, so that he may always stay on the channel of the Satguru, that she may always get the light of the Satguru, that the whole family can get the light of the Satguru. Thank you for listening to this video on the Center Channel.